So you may have seen this video showing China's robotics capability for military applications, and you see these different robotic dogs, tracked robotic vehicles moving around with various weapons, including anti-tank weapons, assault rifles, and yes, even flamethrowers. Some are touting this as this great leap forward for China, as if they just discovered that you can drop a bomb from an airplane or something like that. But I'm here to tell you that at best, this may be a proof of concept that is decades away from actual battlefield application. At worst, it's probably just propaganda. So they use these supposedly in their Golden Dragon 2024 exercise, although no actual true battlefield footage or training footage was shown. This is just rah-rah propaganda videos from China. Now, before I get into why this is a stupid idea, it's worth pointing out that the Chinese stole this from Boston Dynamics, and they made their Spot robot, which is what you see in front of you. This is actually a commercially viable and available. You can buy this robot currently, not this one in front of you, but that little orange one. This project started decades ago. US companies have been developing things like this for a long time, so China showing this is not any kind of revolutionary leap forward. And the problem is when you steal technology from other countries, you're always going to be behind. And since China's whole technology sector is based on thievery, they will never be ahead of true innovative nations such as the United States. Now, what you may not know is the US tried this already 20 years ago when they worked with Boston Dynamics, Foster Miller, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Harvard, and DARPA to develop some sort of mule-style robot to carry extra weight for soldiers on the move. They called it Big Dog. You can look this up. It's readily available. But they really found out how poorly these perform on the battlefield in testing when, one, they're very noisy, and two, they're not very fast, three, their battery capability is not very long, and the fact of the matter is they just could not perform. The US has not revisited this since because there just isn't a reason for these to be on the battlefield. So here are some just basic problems I see with their robot dogs. First and foremost, how does it reload? Are you still going to need a person to come reload the weapon for them? I'm not understanding exactly what the capability is here if a human has to be right by it to consistently reload the weapon on this thing. Second of all, even the best Boston Dynamics version of this robot only has a 90-minute runtime. I can tell you most missions go much longer than 90 minutes. So after that 90 minutes, how does it recharge? Does someone have to carry additional batteries for this thing? Or it runs until it's dead and then you got to pick it up and carry it, and these things are not light at all. Or do you just leave it there? Now, we've seen this video where it showed a Chinese soldier walking with the robot, and I have additional concerns. This control module is enormous and produces a massive electronic warfare signature that can be detected. That means this robot can expose the soldier's location. This is how a lot of the detection on the Ukrainian and Russian front lines of drone operators takes place. You just use frequency detection technology that is readily available, and you strike the drone operator or the robot operator. Second of all, this robot is still quite noisy, and it has an IR signature. All things that are easily detectable and can put the controller, the soldier that is running this robot, in pretty significant danger. Furthermore, these robots only have a top speed of 3 to 4 miles per hour. They're still very clumsy on difficult terrain, and they're easy targets to destroy. Then what happens if you kill this guy? Does this robot just kind of shut down and sit there, easily capturable by the enemy to take back and analyze, including the GPS data that is on board these robots so they can find out where exactly it originated from? And hell, you might not even have to kill the operator. These are probably hackable. You can probably hack into their systems and take over them. But you want to know what the number one reason why this is purely propaganda and not any kind of practical application? Because they put a laser on a robot with a flamethrower. What kind of laser accuracy do you need for your flamethrower on a battlefield? And how easily would it be to shoot this tank and just blow everyone up around this robot? But yeah, let's put this laser on top of a flamethrower, make this robot jump around. Absolutely silly B-movie level Chinese nonsense. Now, that being said, there is probably some practical application for robots on the battlefield. First and foremost, first-person view drones absolutely provide great reconnaissance and attack capability. We see that in Ukraine. But when it comes to ground-based robots, tracked, wheeled, with legs, doesn't matter. The only thing I could potentially see them being useful for is casualty recovery, which there are proofs of concept being developed in many countries, including Israel, the United States, of potentially using robots to move out, grab casualties, and bring them back. We've seen this on the battlefield in Ukraine taking place with tracked robots going out, getting casualties, casualty recovery, and bringing them back so that they can be treated or they can be given a proper military burial. And possibly logistics usage such as resupplying troops, or in a compromised environment such as what we would call a CBRN environment, which is like chemical weapons or nuclear weapons or some kind of sort of radioactive area. Those may be some applications you could see robots go in to conduct reconnaissance for. Otherwise, this is complete silliness and will actually be a massive combat liability on the battlefield.